How much can you tell about someone judging by the food they eat?
We're sailing the Caribbean, from Grenada to the Bahamas.
And in this video, the food we eat on the boat will reveal the hidden aspects of our personalities.
Our European nature calls for cheese, but we're cheap. The Caribbean's expensive and hot, and our fridge is just big enough for 6 cans of Coke.
How will we survive?
It's very windy! For a whole week! When we were in Antigua, there was a week with wind gusts of over 40 knots forecasted. So we had to wait it out in a sheltered anchorage. That, for us, was a break in our rhythm. And at first it felt overwhelming.
But hey, welcome to Sailing Life! Coelho says, when each day is the same as the next, it's because people fail to recognize the good things that happen in their lives every day that the sun rises. So we were forced to focus on the magic of simple things. Then I realized about the power of food in our lives. Right when we got to Antigua, Rick turned 33, the age of Christ, and we ate the usual breakfast of oats, fruits, and seeds. That particular detail is so important to understand Rick's personality. He doesn't need anything special for his birthday because he already has what he loves most every day. Breakfast is his sacred moment, and the ritual of having it while reading a book in silence is important to him. To make it a bit of a celebratory feast though, I got some local homemade banana cake from Antigua, which he loved to dip in his tea. He's slowly becoming me.
Then we went to a viewpoint over the harbor and had a date at a local restaurant where we ate plantain chips, the Caribbean version of potato fries.
How do you like the plantain chips?
Very good.
Good, no? After spending a day in the super yacht capital, we sailed to Jolly Harbor to shelter from the storm. And there we met Dave, who right after anchoring welcomed us with a red snapper he had caught.
This is truly sea to table.
We cooked the fish with a ton of garlic, our favorite flavor maker. We not only used a clove or chew, we used the whole head.
We learned this from our dear friend Lulu, who cooked a lot of Chinese hot pot for us and taught us that you can never have too much garlic.
Dave also introduced us to a friend of his, a fellow sailor who cooked a carbonara pasta for dinner. These two men lived alone in their boat and socialized with each other over the meals that one made for the other.
We also made pizza in the pan. I learned to make pizza when I lived in Norway with my flatmates Jorge and Emanuele.
Rick is getting much better at pizza.
There were some large coolers in our boat that we didn't need, so we traded them for some chicken. Anna prepared it and invited Dave over.
We ate it with a local root vegetable named Edo, similar to cassava. Rick had his veggie option. I mentioned Rick is slowly becoming me. Well, he just perfected his Spanish tortilla skills and I am proud of him. Food is also one of our love languages. On
one of those days, the sun came up and we went to hike and swim.
Upon arrival, I made what we call arroz a la cubana, or Cuban rice. This is one of my childhood recipes I reserve for happy summer days. Rice with tomato and a sunny side egg on top. Through food, I connect with certain people or memories.
On our last day in Antigua, we went to a local market and discovered a bunch of new root vegetables that they eat here.
Edo, it's a root vegetable. It's a starch. They cook it the way for white cookies.
And what do you eat it with?
Fish.
I love connecting to a community through their food.
This is the Edo.
And cassava. We cook it green banana. That's dasheen.
Oh, that's yum! The weather got better and we sailed to the next country, Kitts Nevis.
Dead corals. We hiked in the morning to digest the breakfast and get the body moving.
Little morning hike to get some activation before the sail to Statia.
So this morning we woke up in St. Kitts and we saw that this area is so beautiful, so we thought let's go stretch the legs before we go sailing to the very next island called Statia. Otherwise in the boat it gets a little bit static.
What do you mean? Static? What does it get?
Lack of exercise. We have to do some exercise, so that was perfect.
Then we continued sailing to Statia, a somewhat Dutch island. On passage I also trimmed my beard. This was the island where hitchhiking was the easiest.
This is the first time you visited Statia?
Yeah.
So what languages do you speak?
English, Spanish, Dutch, and Papiamento.
And what is papiamento?
It's a language that is spoken mostly in Bonaire-Urban person. It's not well known for many other islands, just those.
We went to hike the dormant volcano. And found a surprising amount of life in the deep crater.
That day we had gotten some quick food in the supermarket and that's what we ate. Bread, that cheese, and a tomato.
We don't have a knife and we have a tomato but no knife. So now I have to figure out how to slice this tomato into the bread. I make the hole bigger. You know, like pan tumakat.
This island called Saba was captivating to watch while sailing, so I had to draw it.
After another day of sailing, we made it to Marteen, an island that is half French and half Dutch. Welcome to paradise.
There, we went to the best bakery in the whole Caribbean and I had the most incredible pistachio croissant with a latte, a ritual that grounds me wherever I am. I think of a coffee with my mom, which we do often, but also, especially if it's for breakfast, reminds me of our adorable neighbors in Vancouver, Ali and Kahal. I feel so much like home! What is this, baby?
It's a shrimp.
French delights. We are in love with the French islands. After running errands all day, we went to a restaurant for dinner and had Creole food.
Mahi, and tuna.
But then switched to another one and had French dessert there.
We like to squeeze the best from each place. While going back to the dinghy, we met some local fishermen, catching prawns and crab. It looked beautiful, and it was cute to see them socializing.
Amazing! This is how we fuel gas. There's a hose coming from the station and it goes directly to here, which goes into our tank.
French islands are ideal for filling up gas, but also for provisioning for food.
The joy of going to the supermarket and finding European products is just unmatched.
What are you doing?
Buying chocolate.
Chocolate?
Yes, he caught me.
Groceries. You can pass them to me, baby. Baguette.
We also upgraded our solar array. Installing the new solar panels. New to us.
Where do you get them in?
One in the dumpster, one in the flea market. Right now I'm just connecting the wires.
How?
With this little crimp/shrink tube.
Good job.
Bye. And then we visited an abandoned resort that was hit by Hurricane Irma in 2017.
To prepare for our first overnight passage to the BBIs, we scraped the hull,
Cleaning the hull before the crossing, so we're faster.
Yeah!
did some exercise,
Anna doing assisted pull-ups.
and most importantly, prepared our signature salad for the ride. If I was a salad, I would be this: white beans from a glass jar, beetroot for the iron, tuna for the protein, tomato, my favorite food, onion to add some spice, pepper, and a good dressing with balsamico, olive oil, salt, pepper, and paprika. Oh yes, please.
Our first night passage was rather eventful. At first we connected with Pierre for a bit, then we lost connection. He was especially helpful when we tried using the whisker pole for the first time, as well as the preventer for the main, to keep the sails inflated while sailing goose-winged.
Learning by doing, they say. Rick improvised this system, and Pierre gave us reassurance from the middle of the ocean through the radio.
In case we have to release.
Yes, you're right to do that. No, it's good. The whisker pole is no problem. It doesn't ask for many strengths.
The night crossing was amazing, but the following morning was rough. So when we made it to still waters in the BVIs, we treated ourselves to a pan raclette for dinner.
So this is raclette on a boat.
Raclette is probably the coziest meal we can think of, as it reminds us both of our closest families and friends in Europe.